Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
I am that dude, Bodkins. Patty to patty. It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy. Give a big round of applause for the one and only BodkinShow. I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Bodkin Show. I am that dude, Bodkins, of course. This is our Sunday night episode. I got some bad news for you, folks. Unfortunately, Mr. X-Pro Wali Rainer is so far a no-show. Was confirmed a few times throughout the week. DM'd him earlier today, didn't respond, but Dan Harris, who's the producer, he looked like that was confirmed. He saw the time that we were to go, and well, no show. So sorry if you're tuning in to see me interview Mr. Wali Rainer. My apologies. Hopefully we can get that worked out and get that rebooked in the next few weeks. I know Dan's behind the scenes cooking some things up for us. I love Dan. He does a lot of great stuff for us, books a lot of guests that come on the show, all the guests really, especially on the Sunday shows. So that's what anyway, and these things happen, he books all the guests for me. It really relieves a lot of my stress because, even when I try to get a lot of people, they don't answer their DMs and those types of things. So, that's what happens. So, bring on the Chiefs fans. Hey, any Chiefs fan that wants to come on, we can talk. Just tell them to hit me up. Well, I'll send them the link right now. And, we can talk about the Chiefs since Chiefs fans want to come in. But unfortunately, no Wali Rainer tonight. So instead, until we get we'll just be a little nice solo pod tonight. I'm just going to recap the incredible fights that were at UFC 285 last night. Great card. I thought the card absolutely delivered. Top to bottom. Let's start off with the main event here. John Jones solidifies his GOAT status to my mind, chokes out Ciryl Gane in less than, it was like in the first round, like 2 minutes into the first round. It was over before they even got settled. Just an awful performance by Ciryl Gane. This is twice that he's been in the title fight and just didn't can't wrestle. If I'm a heavyweight, I'm learning how to wrestle because Ciryl Gane doesn't know how when I'm going up against Ciryl Gane. John Jones chokes him out. John Jones is the new UFC heavyweight champion and has now solidified himself to me over GSP. 15-0 in title fights, John Jones. Now, I know there's a lot of, off the field, off the octagon, outside the octagon troubles, trouble with the law, trouble, maybe some PED use, but I guess those things have almost been abolished now as far as like what his levels were. He hadn't fought. Yeah. Jones hadn't fought in over 3 years. Last time we fought was 2020, right before the pandemic hit. So we had a whole ass pandemic. He didn't fight and goes to heavyweight, puts on the weight. By God, did you see him? He looked like I did, but he's got a little bit more muscle. The gut was there. Everything looked like it was there. And it doesn't look like he's like, I was expecting like a ripped out, like 6-pack built John Jones. That's not what we saw. Whom says Andy comes back and gets a title fight. Yeah. So that's what happens when you're the GOAT. Remember, he relinquished the light heavyweight title, comes back, gets a title shot. When you're the GOAT, you get a title shot right off the bat. It was a vacant heavyweight title. It's the biggest fight they could make. They tried to do Francis and Jones. Francis' contract left. Nagano left. So they go Jones and Gane. Now it looks like Jones is Stipe in July. Brock Lesnar effect. Yeah, John Jones is the Brock Lesnar effect even more than Brock Lesnar. Getting paid more money than Brock Lesnar. They gave John Jones the biggest contract a heavyweight's ever gotten. So probably one of the biggest contracts in the UFC. I would say it's right up there probably with Conor, who's probably number one. Jones 2, I would say Izzy 3 as current fighters go as far as contract wise. Kamaru Usman's probably right there, but John Jones probably number 2 right next to the one and only notorious Conor McGregor. Jones wins. Looks like to me again solidifies the GOAT status, jumps over GSP, who I kind of had there. Remember GSP also two division champ. Now John Jones 2 division champ, and he says, "Hey, I got at least one more in me." And it looks like it's probably going to be him and Stipe in July. Stipe's ready to go. We hadn't heard from Stipe in a while since Francis kind of knocked him backwards and his face off. Stipe, I think in his mind did not want to face Francis Ngannou again. I think he wanted to wait. Francis is now no longer there. He feels like, hey, it's safe. I'm going to live. I can live and fight another day with a lot of these guys, unlike Francis, who cleaned my clock out yesterday. So I think it's going to be John Jones. I would have loved to see Jones and Ngannou. It does not look like we're going to get there. Maybe eventually, if they can get to Jones and Jones beats Stipe, and maybe Francis comes back. Dana said yesterday, they're not in the Francis Ngannou business. They don't ever want to see Francis again. They're not in communication with Francis. But here's the thing, what Dana loves more than anything, that's money. Francis Ngannou versus John Jones, if he beats Stipe in July, is the biggest fight the UFC can make, maybe possibly in UFC history. It'll be the biggest heavyweight fight in UFC history. I think the Stipe Jones fight right now is going to be the biggest fight in UFC heavyweight history. But if Francis comes back and takes on Jones, that would top the Stipe Jones fight as far as UFC history. But right now, I think Stipe versus John Jones is the biggest UFC heavyweight fight they could make in the history, because people consider John Jones the GOAT like I do, and then people consider Stipe the GOAT of the heavyweight division. So you have two of the greatest are going to go at it. I believe hopefully in July. It looks like International Fight Week is kind of being the rumor. They always love to have that card stacked. Absolute killer of a card last night. History. I said it. History. The biggest fight in UFC history in heavyweight will be Stipe versus Jones. But then if Francis comes back next year or into this year, maybe next year, and they fight Jones, that would trump the Stipe Jones fight as the biggest fight in history. History. That's right, Dana. You can call me up right now and I'll promote the Jones Stipe fight. It is going to be the biggest, baddest fight in UFC history in heavyweight. Maybe even all of UFC. Again, not very many times do you have two GOATs at certain times ready to go. I don't really know how much Stipe's left in his prime, but I don't really know if John Jones is still in his prime. He did make easy work of Surreal God. I would have liked to seen that fight go longer just so we could got a better look at Jones, but shit, he didn't need it much longer. So it just kind of goes to show you maybe he is above and beyond what we thought he was. Like, I mean, his last few fights at light heavyweight were close. Many people, including myself, had Dominic Reyes beating him in that close 5-round split decision fight back in 2020. But maybe he was bored. Maybe he didn't need it. Now he's reinvented himself. He's got more energy, seems to be ready to go. He seems his mind is to the point of like, hey, I'm not here for pound list. I'm here for the greatest of all time list, is what John Jones said. And by God, he did that last night. And if he beats Stipe, that definitely solidifies any argument whatsoever as far as who the greatest UFC fighter, MMA fighter in the history of MMA will be. John Bones Jones. No argument after that. I don't know if there would be anybody close to, if he beats Stipe. People will say GSP. Yes, people will say Khabib. I don't agree. Who did Khabib beat? He beat a few guys. Kind of, the number 29-0 is great, but John Jones is still undefeated in most people's eyes. The guy is an absolute killer. To me, the greatest all time. Craig wants to know, where does Jones fall on the pound for pound list? I don't know, man. That's tough. You could put him at number one. It wouldn't be an argument. Remember, he was number one before they removed him from the rankings completely for the longest time. Do you put him there? Possibly. I still like Volkanovski just because we've seen more of Volk. Volk went up at light to lightweight just last month in January and almost won. So, yeah, Cormier did have 2 belts in 2 divisions. He was the light heavyweight champ and heavyweight champ. But also remember, Cormier lost to John Jones not once but twice. So that's where that will come in. So Jones has now done it at multiple divisions. There's been a few people who've been double champ. Obviously, Conor was the first double champ. DC was a double champ. Amanda Nunes is a double champ. Henry Cejudo's been a double champ. But the difference is John Jones has a 0 next to his record, 17-0 in title fights. When you have a donut in title fights, it means you're the greatest of all freaking time. As many as he has had. Means you're getting the creme de la creme every time you step on into the octagon. I think he got bored at the light heavyweight because there wasn't a lot of people. Remember, he beat some absolute gangsters on his way and kind of some older guys that, legends in the sport. And then he was kind of getting fed some guys coming up because he'd cleaned out the division, cleaned everybody out. And now he gets to fight, just beat Ciryl Gane. And now he gets to fight Stipe, a guy who, again, is considered the heavyweight GOAT. And now we're going to see him and Jones fight here in July. It was an incredible main event. So only when he was hooked on the white sugar. Hey, everybody, I talked about this on Thursday's show. Everybody's made mistakes in their young 20s. John Jones was a young 20-year-old kid when he first came onto the scene and won the title. Getting money, getting fame. That's a lot for somebody to handle. And he handled it by stuffing stuff up his nose. He liked to party. Who didn't like to party in the early 20s? I know I did. I've made a few mistakes myself, so I don't really blame him that those things happen. I just hope that he matured now. He seems mature. As long as from now to the next fight, he doesn't get any law trouble. He hasn't had any real law trouble in about 2 years. The last time, remember, he did get in trouble when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame and then was found drunk after beating his girlfriend or fiance or something, and the cops in Vegas. So hopefully they just flew his ass right out of Vegas last night, got him home back to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and where he can just hang out, retrain, and get ready for Stipe. He seems mentally there and is saying the right things. Now, can those actions speak the right things? We'll find out. I'm looking forward to that fight in July. That's the biggest fight, though. That'll be the biggest fight in UFC heavyweight history. Let's move down to the co-main where we had the absolute shocker. Absolute shocker. Alexa Grasso beats Valentina Shevchenko. I never saw this one coming at all. I thought Chevy would blow through her in about 2 rounds. And in the 3rd round, Alexa chokes her out. I had it up Chevy 2-0. You could have scored it 1-1 going into the 3rd. Some people had Alexa win in that 1st round. I kind of had Chevy. Chevy was kind of dominating. And then Chevy goes for this, spinning elbow, and it missed. And Grasso took her back, took her down, and choked her out. And we have an new flyweight champion, women's flyweight champ in Alexa Grasso. They're going to run that right back. You have to. Chevy was a long-time champ. Anytime there's a long-time champ who's defended the titles many times, as Valentina has. I think this was like her 14th or 12th title defense. I don't know. It was up there. Let me look it up so I'm not just giving you guys just let me look at this profile of hers real quick. Can't remember. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's when she beat 6 was Maya. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, her 10th or 9th straight title defense. Well, I mean, 8th title defense, but won it. So 9th title fight. So there was, and then she loses this one to Alexa Grasso. They're going to run it right back. I wouldn't be surprised if they put that on International Fight Week as well. Valentina versus Grasso 2. Let's get it going. I don't think really two of the girls didn't take a whole lot of damage. Obviously, Valentina gets choked out in what was how big of an upset? Pretty good size upset. I can't remember what the exact odds were, but it was pretty heavy favorite for Valentina. Man, I don't really know. Where does this rank as far as the biggest upsets in UFC history? I would put Juliana Pena over Nunez over that. I would put Holly Holm over Ronda Rousey. So, I mean, it's right there, though. I would put Sierra over GSP. So there's been a couple of huge upsets that I would rank there, but it's probably top 10 as far as one of the biggest upsets. I did not give Alexa Grasso a whole lot of, I gave her zero chance to win that fight. I'm not going to lie. If somebody said there, I had Shavkat being my lock on the card, but and we'll get to Shavkat here in just a minute. But I mean, Valentina, there's no way I thought she would have lost to Alexa Grasso. I didn't see a way for Grasso to win. Valentina kind of struggles on the ground a little bit. Alexa wants to strike. That was right in Valentina's wheelhouse. Valentina, I mean, they went at it. And, unfortunately, she got choked out. Now let's run it back and see what happens. Do I think it could be a similar situation to when Amanda Nunez lost to Juliana Pena, and then we saw what happened the next time out? Absolutely. Absolutely, I think that could happen. And we'll see. We'll see. We get to the third card here. The third fight, Shavkat Rakhmonov. I said this on Thursday, and I'll reiterate it again. Future welterweight champion Shavkat Rakhmonov, and I'm more impressed than I was ever. He went through some shit last night, went deep and went 3 rounds, went into 3 rounds, took Jeff Neal's best shots, was even hurt a little bit. Shavkat was, found a way, choked Jeff Neal out. I mean, it was almost like a standing guillotine, much like John Jones, the previous aforementioned John Jones did to Lyoto Machida when he won the title. I mean, just chokes Jeff Neal out. Jeff Neal falls to the ground. Shavkat walks away winner. I would like to see him fight Colby Covington, maybe a Khamzat Chimaev. He deserves a top 5 guy. Maybe it's Bilal Muhammad. Let's get this one going. Let's get Shavkat going. I think if he can fight 3 times this year, by the 3rd fight, it would be a title fight. He said, hey, I'm ready today for the title fight. I just feel like there's 1 or 2 guys ahead of him. Maybe he can get in with one of those 2 guys. Maybe a Colby. If he goes against Colby and beats Colby, that's it. Give the guy a title shot at that point in time. And then let's see what happens with Edwards and Usman as well. I think if Usman wins, Usman's beat everybody in this division outside of Bilal Muhammad and Shavkat. So maybe that's it. Maybe Shavkat needs to root for Kamaru to win the title. If it's Leon and Leon wins, Leon hasn't fought a lot of these guys, so we'll see where that lands if Leon wins in 2 weeks, who he's going to fight. But huge Shavkat fan. I mark my words again, future welterweight champ. It probably be next year sometime. Shavkat will be welterweight champ, and you can cut this clip, send it out, and know that I told you so right here on the Bodkin Show. My guy Jalen Turner took a tough loss. It was a close fight. He did some things, but Gamrot just out-wrestled him. That was probably the closest fight. It was a split decision. Gamrot wins. Gamrot's a tough SOB. It's kind of, I was scared because Gamrot can wrestle, and that's kind of what happened. Turner couldn't quite keep the distance and piece him up like we needed him to. So that was one fight that I lost, but a nice win for Gamrot. He's the guy that, went all the way up to fight Benil Dariush, lost, took this fight. Hey, now got yourself correct. Give him another chance to somebody. I don't know. I mean, maybe him and Dustin Poirier. I don't really know. That would be a good one. Let me look at the rankings here, who he could go up against next. Let's see. This is lightweight, flyweight, lightweight. Here we go. Yeah, Gamrot was 7. I mean, everybody else is kind of tied up besides Dustin Poirier. Go ahead and do Gamrot Poirier because you got Charles and Beneil fighting. You got Rafael and Gaethje fighting. I mean, he could fight maybe the loser of Gaethje and Fiziev. That would be a good one. Let him get that loser or maybe the winner. I mean, he could get that one because looks like if Beneil can beat Charles, Beneil's going to get the title shot next over, against Islam. And that fight's happening in May, I think. But Justin and Fiziev fight next month in 2 weeks. So the timeline match is perfect. He can get the winner. That winner could get a title shot. So all things considered there, that's what could happen. For Jalen Turner, hey, nice crack at somebody real tough. I'd like to see him. Somebody still in the top 10. Maybe you give him Armin Tersakian. I can't even say his name. Maybe you rematch him and Dan Hooker. They were supposed to fight 10 and 11. Maybe you just do that, and away we go. Let's see. Let me slip back over here. Then we had the absolute, blue chipper, Bo Nickel, handle business like he was supposed to. Bo Nickel just runs through Jamie Pickett, exactly what we said. Bo Nickel could be, if he fought the champ and Michael Pereira, he could win. Bo Nickel's an absolute stud, y'all. He's 4-0 in MMA. Obviously, he's a national champion in wrestling, 2-time national champion. The guy is an absolute stud. Guys who are in his gym rave about him. I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to see if they're going to do the slow build with Bo or if they're going to fast track him. I think they could fast track him and go from there. Do you give him somebody in the top 15 already? That'll be the question. Or do they do a slow build and just work him up? Or do you say, hey, you got the one fight under your belt. Let's give you somebody in the top 15. And do you give him Kevin Gastelum? We haven't seen Gastelum in a while. Do you give him Andre Munoz? Munoz could win. You could give him with somebody like that. It'll be close. Any one of those guys. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Bo. I think they could just fast track him, but who knows? You don't want to fast track him too much where he loses momentum. So maybe they do a slow build, kind of like they did with Sean O'Malley. Or maybe you fast track him. Maybe they do the Paddy Pimblett where it's a slow build. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting, and obviously it'll depend on how Bo wants to do. But this kid could beat a lot of guys already in that 15, in the top 15, even top 10. Like I said, I believe he could even beat the champion because it's a nightmare matchup. We saw Pierre; he can't really wrestle. Izzy can't. He could out wrestle Izzy. Now he could get caught and get put out, lights out, but we just don't know. We had the return of Cody Garbrandt. Cody looked good. That was the best Cody Garbrandt we've seen in a long, long time. That was a nice win for Cody Garbrandt on the prelims. Nice win for DDP as well. He beats down Derek Brunson in the third round. Maybe it was the second round. What round was that? The second round. DDP wins. He keeps his momentum going. Give that guy somebody in the top 5. Let me flip back over here to the rankings here. DDP was 10. Maybe you give him – he just beat Derek Brunson, who was 5, so maybe do him and Jared Cannonier. That would be a hell of a fight. Him and Cannonier. Marvin Vittori's getting ready to fight Roman. Maybe give him – Marvin wins, maybe give him Marvin against Roman because Marvin fights Roman Dolidze next in 2 weeks, so that timeline matches up. Yeah, I would like to see Cannonier. Craig's chiming here. He says, Cody didn't look good. Jones just looked worse. Snoozer. It was kind of a snoozer. I mean, I don't know why Jones didn't put more pressure on. You saw in the third round, he put a lot of pressure on Cody, hurt Cody. But I thought Cody looked more patient, though, I guess. He looked patient, wasn't just headhunting. And, because he's the type of guy who'll get headhunt and then gets his head hunted at the same time. So it was a little bit of a snoozer leading up into the main card. It was a nice but good fight, though. I mean, it wasn't the best. It was kind of the worst fight on the card, I feel like, that as far as like what happened. That's kind of it. Nice win by Amanda Hebus. Ian Gary looked really good. I think it's time to give Ian Gary somebody in the top 15 at welterweight. He remains undefeated. So that's kind of just a little wrap up of the fights last night. I thought it was a great card. A lot of good finishes, a lot of good fights. We get the stunning upset. We get the return of John Jones. And, I mean, John Jones is the heavyweight champ. I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time. And now he has returned. He's the champ. And now hopefully we get him and Stipe. And we get to decide who really – what if Stipe wins? If Stipe beats Jones, where does that put him? Yeah, Craig, I think Ian Gary – I said Ian Gary. I think give that guy a top 15 pick or a top guy in the top 15. Let me pull the rankings up again real fast for welterweight. Let's see who Ian Gary. Yeah, why not give him Neil Magny, Michael Chiesa, somebody like that. Maybe Michael Piera. I don't want to give him Jack Della Maladena yet. I like JDM. I want to see these two young guys kind of rise together up the rankings. I mean, the welterweight class is tough. Looks like I said, I'd like to give Shavkat, who just beat Jeff Neal at 7. Shavkat, give him somebody like Colby or, Bilal, and we'll go from there. So we'll see. I do think you got to give Ian Gary somebody, a name, put him on the actual main card for once. See, this guy's been fighting on the prelims for like the last 3 years, or, since he's come in. I think he's kind of got a name and a following a little bit. So we'll see. But yeah, great night of fights. The next pay-per-views in 2 weeks. The rematch of Usman and Edwards. I'm excited to watch that. So we'll see. We're just going to go ahead and we'll get out of here, folks. Wali Rainer was a no-show again. Hey, it happens. You just never know what these, it happens. Not mad about it. It is what it is. Hopefully we can get that rescheduled and get that out. I was looking forward to talking to him. So instead, you guys got to hear me talk about the UFC fights last night. It was an incredible night of fights. So we'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow night with Buffoon and Bodkins, me and Tanner. If you missed it, please check out the today's show on Let's Talk Sports. We did a little We Know the Answers trivia question, and your boy here won, beat Tanner. The questions, I mean, I thought I was expecting to play on like pro mode, maybe. No, Dan Harris had that on like all pro, all Madden with the settings all the way up for the computer, and you're at like 0. That's how tough it was. The questions were tough, but it was a lot of fun. It was for a good cause, trying to raise money for leukemia. So, Dan, we appreciate you as always for asking me to come on and do that. Appreciate you booking all the guests. Again, we can't thank you enough for being the producer. We'll be back next Sunday. Hopefully have a guest. If not, maybe I'll just talk some shit like I did tonight. Me and John will be back on Thursday as well. So it has been a pleasure, folks. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Bodkins and Buffoon right here on the Bodkins Show channel or the Let's Talk Sports channel. You catch it at both places. So be a friend, tell a friend. We'll see you. Gonna hit that outro, baby.